Hi, I'm Dr. Larry Malerba, and this is All Things Homeopathy. It's nearly impossible to explain the therapeutic power of homeopathy to those who haven't experienced it firsthand. Society is too conditioned by mainstream medical thought to appreciate the profound reality of what a homeopathic cure entails. We're programmed to think in the ways of conventional science, which is to say, you take this pill for your fever, this one for your runny nose, and this one for your cough. You visit Dr. X for your migraine, Dr. Y for gastrointestinal problems, and Dr. Z for your emotional issues. Each doctor and each drug has its own little domain, its own separate sphere of action. Most people just assume that their various health problems are unrelated and therefore require separate solutions. When a homeopath explains that constitutional homeopathy treats the whole person and it views all problems as one because they are always interrelated, most people don't quite get it. It sounds too much like a cliche, a platitude, a holistic talking point. They don't understand that this is meant literally. The inability of people to grasp this concept is a testament to the powerful hold that the conventional reductionist medical paradigm has on people's minds. And yet homeopathy does just that. It treats the whole in a way that no other therapy can. So when Wendy consults me for her low back pain, she assumes that I want to talk mostly about her back pain. But when I ask additional questions and find out that she also suffers from erratic menstrual cycles, patches of eczema on her arms, fatigue in the afternoons, a tendency to wake too early in the mornings, a craving for sweets, a fear of heights, and a tendency to be argumentative and irritable, she begins to think that maybe I think that all these things are somehow connected. Of course, I take it for granted that they are all connected. That's why my goal is to prescribe the single remedy that best matches the totality of her overall condition. When the remedy works and Wendy reports that her back feels better, her cycle started on time, her eczema is fading, she feels more energized, she's sleeping better, food isn't controlling her, she didn't have the usual reaction to heights, and her mood is much better, then Wendy too begins to see how all her problems are connected in some way. After all, how could they not be? All her problems are happening to her. When we realize that mind and body are one, then it also becomes clear that Wendy's physical symptoms, sleep pattern, moods, fears, and overall energy level are inextricably interconnected precisely because they are all symptomatic expressions of a unified mind-body. Those who don't get it are sometimes puzzled and even annoyed by my questions about so many other seemingly unrelated things. But I know that I won't be able to help unless I know about everything, not just the patient's main complaint. Let's try a couple more examples that illustrate the interconnectedness of all symptoms and how homeopathy uses that information to heal the whole. Ellen has had a chronic cough for more than a year that conventional medicine has been unable to help. She acknowledges that the cough, which seems to come from her throat, began right around the time that her grandmother died. Ellen admits that she still hasn't gotten over it. She was close to her grandmother, and she can still burst into uncontrollable sobbing at unpredictable moments. I prescribed homeopathic Ignatia. Ellen reports that the remedy not only got rid of her cough, but she also feels a lot less distraught over the loss of her grandmother. Here's another example. Two different people have severely itchy rashes. The first says that the itch makes him very irritable. He loves spicy hot foods, and he's so warm-blooded that he never sleeps with covers on. The second says that the itch makes him incredibly anxious. Although he earns a good living, he always worries about the possibility of going broke. He tends to feel so cold that he wears long johns even in the summertime. These unique clues allow me to choose two different remedies, sulfur in the first case, Serenum in the second, both of which completely eliminate the itchy rashes and their associated mental states. Think about the low expectations that we have regarding conventional medicine, and then compare that to what homeopaths seek to achieve through constitutional treatment. When a painkiller diminishes the pain of a migraine, most patients accept that as the standard of care. However, remember our previous discussion about suppression in episode number 10. If the migraines diminish in intensity, but the patient subsequently begins to complain about arthritic pain or a depressed mood, for example, then the possibility of suppression must be considered. It's quite possible that the migraine treatment may be leading to new health problems. If, on the other hand, homeopathic treatment results in the complete elimination of migraines, that's probably a good thing. But we can't be sure until we evaluate the entire situation. There must be evidence of overall improvement in the health of the person if it is to be trusted. In other words, if my patient says that his migraines are gone, but he still feels tired, grouchy, and isn't sleeping well, then I'm not satisfied. When he says his migraines are gone and his energy is improved, his mood is better, and he's sleeping better, then we're definitely onto something. So when homeopaths talk about healing the whole person, they mean it literally. Unfortunately, most people can't even imagine that that's a possibility until they experience it for themselves. That's when they become true believers. Well, I hope that gives you a real feeling for what constitutional homeopathic care is all about. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to the ATH YouTube channel. Please join me again for the next episode of All Things Homeopathy.